the Academy Awards, I feel like is just gonna, like, what is even gonna be there? Like, I literally ask myself, like, what is even gonna be there at this point? Like, this is gonna be there.
What up, YouTube? Drive-By Movies here, and you are watching
Fresh Releases.
My name is James.
My name is Blaise.
And today we are checking out the new film that just hit Netflix, Power of the Dog.
The Power of the Dog tells the story of a charismatic rancher, Phil Burbank, who inspires fear and awe in those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. So it's 2021 and we're coming up on the awards season again, and it seems that Benedict Cumberbatch has found a new vehicle to attach himself to hopefully finally procure that Oscar and ascend into what a real actor is. At least that's the version of how I felt like this whole thing went down, essentially. But anyways, Power of the Dog is Jane Campion's new film. It's been 12 years away from the director's chair. She's returned to the director's chair to bring us this classic story, and it's her take on it. Also has a great cast of Jesse Plemons, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Kirsten Dunst. James, what do you think of this movie?
Sounds like you are ready to make fun of this movie from your intro about Benedict Cumberbatch. And that is totally fine by me because I thought overall this movie was kind of bland. Jane's work I'm not too familiar with the exception of the piano. I remember watching that with one of my film classes, and I actually really enjoyed that movie. I do have it in my VHS collection somewhere in there, just because I actually really enjoyed that movie. And I've seen a couple episodes of Top of the Lake, and I liked that for the most part. I just never got around to like finishing it. It's just one of those shows I kind of just fell behind on, but I'm sure it's something that I would enjoy. It's definitely in that mystery detective thriller dramas that is usually my favorite genre, and it's something that I do want to pick up. Visually, this movie is stunning and the performances are there. It's very well directed with a great score, but it just reminds me too much of The Imitation Game starring Benedict Cumberbatch, where it's just like feels like one of those just Oscar movies we get every year where it's fine, but are we really going to care about this movie a few years ahead from now? Benedict Cumberbatch is kind of a dick in this movie, and I get that he's like a closeted guy who's going through inner turmoil and stuff, and he starts to find himself towards the end, but still overall he's just being a jerk to Kirsten Dunst the whole movie. I know she has her own demons that she's fighting with, and then he thinks that she's out to like steal money and everything, but yeah, just like I didn't find this movie to be like all that well likable. The only character I really like is actually Cody Smith playing Peter Gordon. He's an actor I'm like, you know, we've seen him around for so long, I kind of forgot about him, but I'm glad to see he's still getting work because he is a really great actor. But yeah, just overall, what do you think of this movie?
Yeah, I'm just on the same with you. I felt like this whole movie, like watching it, I'm just like, Benedict Cumberbatch would, I feel like if you could break the rules and just, if you could do anything, like someone tells you to do something and they'll just give you an Oscar, like Benedict Cumberbatch should be at the front of the line of that. I just feel like he's so wanting this Oscar so bad, because it seems like all he does now is just like Doctor Strange and just whatever movie that I'm not gonna remember a year after it's made. That's at the Oscars. It's at the Oscars, but I'm not gonna remember it the next year. It's gonna be another Imitation Game where it's just a movie that like, it's 2021, who would like literally put in the Imitation Game and watch it? It's not a good movie. It got, I think, best screenplay. It's like, dude, you can't even remember the movie, or like people aren't gonna remember to watch it in this day and age because it would be pointless watch at this point, like honestly. So I just think like basically watching this film cemented the fact that I think I'm done with him. Like I think anything he's on, I'm good. Like, and I don't care if anyone gives it rave reviews and says, oh my God, it's amazing. This film's a masterpiece. I've heard that many times about this movie, Power of the Dog, which I think the film's fine. I don't think it's a bad movie by any means, but I agree with you. I think it's very bland. it's something I've seen before. I almost feel like it's similar, like slightly, it has similar themes to other movies that we've seen in the past 5 years. It's not entirely like a ripoff of those films, but I did feel like it had similar themes to Phantom Thread, but obviously not the whole like becoming a master aspect, or like becoming this person that's better than everyone else because they're a master of their subject. I didn't feel like it had those themes, of course, but really just that kind of like vengeance, like deep-seated kind of vengeance theme that was going on within this film, and also that film as well. But yeah, I just felt like this film was, it's fine. Like it really overstays its welcome. I think me and you have really been pushing back this year on films that are over 90 minutes, and it's really hard to even find a film this year that's really at 90 minutes. So that's like the thing where it's now everything has to be 2 hours and it's not even good. So what's the fucking point? I feel like sorry to be a little bit cynical, but that's kind of at the point where I'm like pushed back so far this year to where everything is over 2 hours or 2 hours, and it's just all right or okay. Like, what do we really deserve the extra 30 minutes for if the film doesn't really ascend from being, you know, this 90-minute movie? I don't know.
Yeah, because the meat and potatoes of this movie kind of really doesn't start happening until the final 20 minutes, I'd say. Like, you know, I paused it only once during the movie, and I think there was like 40 minutes left on Netflix, and I was like, all right, like, this movie's fine, but like, where's it gonna go from here? And there's still like just kind of 20 minutes of just like, you know, Benedict Cumberbatch and Kirsten Dunst arguing some more, and then you know, then there's the kind of the overall plot and just like the downfall of like our main character with Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't even remember his name, just kind of how bland. Well, Burbank, I remember that just because we kept hearing Burbank, and I was just like, Burbank, right, I need to go to Burbank this weekend for something, which was cracking me up personally. But you know, just like with westerns and stuff too, it's something I've brought up countless times on the show that I'm just not the biggest western guy, but there has been some fun ones over the recent years that just like caught me by surprise. And of course, the most recent one, The Harder They Fall, really enjoyed that film. Like, Netflix, I thought, like, did a great job, you know, believing in that director. I see why they gave this director, like, you know, money to make this movie. I see why Benedict Cumberbatch wanted to be in it, as well as, you know, Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst, and, you know, it's like a great movie to come back to. But just like, you know, if this is what Netflix is swinging hard with, like, I don't know, it's just not for me. Another western that I highly recommend is The Sisters Brothers. That was a western that I felt like got overlooked and much better. Like, totally different story, but it's still about brothers for the most part. But John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix have great chemistry in that movie, and there's also a great story with Riz Ahmed as well as Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie. Just like, yeah, there's plenty of great westerns out there and stuff, and those two I think are way more highly recommended from me.
Yeah, something like that can come out with basically an all-star cast and not get any type of nods or anything, or even anyone watching the film or talking about it. But then a film like this can come out, and because it's near awards season, we've kind of been starved for movies this whole year. I feel like the Academy Awards, I feel like, is just gonna, like, what is even gonna be there? Like, I literally ask myself, like, what is even gonna be there at this point? Like, this is gonna be there, and the fact that this being there, I'm just like, oh my god, like, this is what we've come to, where there's just like everything is bad. I mean, in the past couple of years, I feel like the majority of things at the Academy Awards have been pretty bad, and even the things winning or the things nominated, give or take. But this year is shaping up to really take the cake, I feel like.
Which, you know, it's a bummer because, you know, last year everything was streaming and stuff. So it was a real, like, good opportunity for movies to shine that normally wouldn't, where Oscars require, like, movies to have a certain period within theaters. And this is the year where, like, you know, they're back in theaters, so it's their chance to shine in theaters as well as shine on streaming as well, too. But just, I don't know, it still feels like just overall like a kind of bland year. It just feels weird that we're getting 2 bland years of, you know, like, I'm sure there's some gems out there that we're just missing out on, which is a bummer though, just because I'm not sure if just maybe they're flying over our radar or flying under our radar, but just, yeah, Oscars is going to be whack this year or next year.
Yeah. Hashtag Oscars so whack.
You best believe that's going to be the title on this video. But yeah, like that's pretty much all I have to say on it. Recommendation wise, it's pass for me, and this might be your thing, but like I feel like, you know, just like I can't give it, I can't condemn the recommendation for this one. What about you?
I mean, if you like Benedict Cumberbatch, you might as well watch this movie, because the only other option, and the only other option of Benedict Cumberbatch stuff you have is just Doctor Strange, basically, and the new Spider-Man or whatever Doctor Strange films are coming out in the near future. But me, I don't understand how you could be a Benedict Cumberbatch fan. I feel like this dude just chews the scenery every time he's in anything. It's just, I don't know. He reeks of like not being authentic to me. I'm sure he's a nice guy, so I don't mean to personally attack him. I'm just saying, like, I feel like the projects he chooses, the stuff he picks, it doesn't quite add up to me. I can't really quite put my finger on it though.
He likes to play roles where he yells a lot. Like this movie, I mean, even though it's pretty calm and stuff and closeted, like he has his moments where he yells. I remember in the Imitation Game where we find out that he's gay in the movie, like he, like, you know, kind of like lashes out to, I forget the name of that actress within that movie. No, it's the girl from like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And then also I remember with the movie 1917, also he's kind of a mean general in that movie too, where I think he like lashes out and doesn't believe them or something when the character is saying like, hey, we need to stop this fight, it's a trap and stuff. And yeah, you
know, the other actor who he reminds me of, and I mean they are both English, but they both had films kind of competing at the same time, and now that other actor isn't quite anywhere but denouncing his own film he did win an Academy Award for. I think he won an Academy Award for this, but Eddie Redmayne,
really?
I think he won the Academy Award for The Danish Girl, and now he's come out and said this year that, you know, playing this role was very transphobic. Like, I don't know about all that. I just know that movie, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this just does not look good. Like, he just looks like he's gonna choose scenery in every single scene, and Benedict Cumberbatch reminds me of that, and he's still on this 2014, 2015 kick of like stuff that he's picking. It's nothing really that interesting to me. It's nothing that's really captivating or anything that can actually show me what he can do besides yelling or getting super emotional about something. I know acting is 90% emotions, but I feel like he's showing me the same damn emotions every time, to where I'm like, right now, I'm gonna say it, anything he's in, I'm just avoiding like the Black Plague. This guy is the kiss of death.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to be the one to let you know if he shines in a movie finally. But yeah, overall, like he's like one of those guys where he's a fine actor. I believe he can get a good movie and stuff, but just like so far, all of it's just like on the peak of just like, you know, it's not great, it's not bad, it's just right in the middle and stuff. And that's the stuff I forget about the most. So I feel like that's also one of the most negative things I can say about a movie. Just like, it's fine, I'm just gonna forget about it until you bring it up or something. But yeah, are we completely wrong? Let us know what you guys thought about it. We obviously aren't on the side of the critics and Rotten Tomatoes, so you know, let us know in the comments what you thought about this movie, and be sure to come back here telling us your thoughts after seeing it.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And if you can't get enough of us here on YouTube, be sure to catch all our social media links down below in the description box. You can see us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Anyways, guys, that'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new episode of Fresh Releases.